Corriere della Sera. How has your approach to having to face a player with one of the highest basketball IQs in history evolved during these 4 years in the finals? Do you feel a little bit more comfortable as a team and as a player?
Yeah, I mean, in the finals, it brings the best out of you, and when the competition is as great as it has been every year we've been here facing LeBron and teams that he's been with, it tests you mentally and physically to get through these series. And looking back 2015, 2016 last year and this year, there's been so many different challenges that we've faced, and some we've succeeded at, some we haven't. And definitely a better player than I was before these 4 series have started, and hopefully there'll be an appreciation for that when it's all said and done.
LeBron just said that in order to win this series and games in the finals, you need to be, besides having talent, you need to be cerebral. So what's the state of mind and the mindset you need to have now to close the series?
Just understand the details of defensively what we need to do against a team like Cleveland with the threats that they have. Understanding that Game 4 is going to be the toughest game that we've played in this series to close it out, and we're going to need energy, effort, focus from every guy that steps foot on the floor for 48 minutes, and kind of like we did in Game 3, where we know they're going to throw some crazy punches, and we got to be able to weather the storm and their runs and the crowd and the atmosphere and all that. Just try to keep our composure as best we can. Whether shots go in or they don't, or calls go your way or they don't, no matter what the score is, you got to keep fighting, keep playing, because closeout games are the hardest things that you can ever experience in the playoffs.
Tim in the back row.
Tim Reynolds with the Associated Press. Steph, you guys are grown accustomed to winning 65, 67, 73, whatever the numbers have been the last 3 years. In a couple of ways, does you almost appreciate this run more because you guys had to show maybe a lot more toughness this season, had to deal with a lot more adversity this season than you had in the past 3? Does it almost make you appreciate what you guys are about to do more, given the journey that you've been on this year?
At the end of every season and run that we've had, there's always an appreciation for the things you learn and things you've gone through. Going into this season, I don't think anybody could have guessed or predicted, the ups and downs and the roller coasters we've been on. So definitely a different year, just overall. Personally with injuries, as a team with dealing with injuries, dealing with the kind of expectations that have been placed on us from the outside and the noise around us as a team. We're trying to understand that throughout the regular season we had to continue to get better, whether that was a slow process or not, and understand when the playoffs came around that probably wouldn't go 16-1 to win a championship. It's probably going to be a lot harder because teams are keying in on us and shifting up their lineups and things like that. And it's kind of been that's been how it's been. And I think for us to do what we did in the conference finals and win a Game 7 on the road, we'd never done that before. And now be 1 game away. It's been a crazy ride. So now we just got to finish the job, and I think we're all excited about that opportunity.
Back left.
Dan Feldman, NBC Sports. Steph, there's a video going around of you kind of yelling into your jersey right after you left the court last night. What was going through your mind at that point?
Obviously happy to get the win. It was a tough game all the way around, and when you go through that kind of competitive experience for 48 minutes, it's a sense of relief walking off the floor with a win. Obviously, I always say I'm my biggest critic and would have loved to made a couple more shots earlier in the game and things like that. So sometimes you have to get rid of those thoughts and understand that there's another opportunity on Friday to rectify that. But we're walking off the floor up 3-0, having won a game on the road, and definitely a sense of relief and just getting those emotions out.
Is that a conscious decision you've made at some point, that when you need to let those emotions out, to do it after the game, before you get in here with us, like that's the right time, or is that just when it happened to come out last night?
I've never thought to walk up here on the podium and just yell. So, nah, I never had that impulse. But usually, like I said, when you're in that pressure type environment on the court and there's 20,000 fans screaming at you for 2.5 hours, when you walk off the court and you're in the tunnel, walking in the locker room, there's a little time to decompress a little bit. It might come out a bunch of different ways. But yesterday, I just wanted to just yell and get it over with.
Phil on the front left.
Hey, Steph. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press, Democrat. 2 full years with Kevin now and a lot of success, obviously. But are there times when you still find yourself sort of feeling out who has the hot hand at a given time, or when you need to take over a little bit and when you need to sort of defer to Kevin a bit?
Not really. I mean, it's been very, very fluid, especially this year. Been well documented, last year how it went up until we were in this building, I think over the Christmas Day game, and us having kind of a come to Jesus meeting afterwards about, what we needed to do differently to build some momentum down the stretch of that season to get ready for the playoffs. But this year has been a lot more comfortable, a lot more just understood how we feel out the game and what plays to call, and understand we all can be aggressive. We're not going to step on anybody's toes. We all understand that, we'll have an opportunity to impact the game, whether it's for stretches of the game or, play here, play there. But we all need to be aggressive and be threats and be confident out there. And it's been fun to be on that journey and kind of learn a new system within an old system pretty quickly these last 2 years.
Ramona back left.
Steph, Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. So LeBron said last night, and then I think he just said it again just now, that since you guys have gotten Kevin, there's sort of less pressure on each of you guys individually. You can have a bad game, and Kevin can have a night like that. Do you agree with the statement that there's less pressure on you guys individually? And two, if you don't agree with it, what is that pressure that you guys feel individually?
I mean, yeah, if a game happened like last night and I shot 3 for 16 and we had guys scoring under 15 without KD having the game he had, it would have been a lot tougher to win. But pressure, I don't necessarily agree with that, because I feel like every time we step foot on the floor, we put pressure on ourselves to be great, and whether you live up to it or not, you gotta be okay with it, your effort and your intensity and whatnot, and the result of the game. But we don't win 70 or whatever, we won 67 games last year, and go through the journey that we did this year without everybody feeling a sense of pressure and sense of urgency every night that you step foot on the floor, whether you get the job done or not. We all want to show up and do our jobs at a high level, because that's what got us all to where we are, today as individual players and as a team. So KD definitely falls into that. He helps the situation, but I don't think that takes. We don't walk on the floor and just, there's KD. All right, we're good. Like we still have to play and play hard and play well.
Gary, last one in the back left.
Walsh from Boston Globe. How different are the Cavaliers without Kyrie Irving?
I mean, he's an unbelievable player, and I don't know much about how much their schemes have changed. With they run a lot more sets to try to get guys and open shots, outside of LeBron creating and things like that. So it's just different, but I don't really know how to explain it. Kyrie is such a unique talent. You can just give him the ball and try to help him. He can create a shot for you, but. They're much more, bent on executing in the half court and trying to, create shots with movement, with screens and things like that. And obviously, you can just give the ball to LeBron and he can create, most times and not. So it's my best way of explaining it.
Thank you, Steph. Kevin Durant.